Hello folks, and welcome to a new episode of Tech News. This time on a Monday, we have a ton of breaking news to cover. This is episode 26. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, we finally do have a launch date window. The well-anticipated Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE is set to launch alongside the upcoming Galaxy S23 FE, which by the way is currently anticipated for a drop sometime at the end of this month, or between the end of this month and next month, but I'm thinking more October. So that's our window there, meaning to those of you who have been looking forward to grabbing one of these bad boys when they drop, whether it be the S23 FE or the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE, it's gonna be here sooner than you think. Now that said, to those of you solely interested in the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE, here are a few things that you should be expecting on these upcoming mid-range tablets. The first thing being you get to choose between two different sizes. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus, which will stand at 12.4 inches, just like the current Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE that's preceding it, or the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Plus, or the Tab S9 Plus, or even the Tab S7 Plus. So pretty much the same size there. Now your other choice is going to be the regular Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE, which will stand at 10.9 inches, so closer to what you have right now with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, which is a 10.4. But anyways, both models will have physical attributes currently found on the flagship Galaxy Tab S9 series, specifically on the back of the tablet. You would have that dual camera setup on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE Plus, so just like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus, and then you get a single camera module on the regular Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE, or the smaller model. And of course, they both will be supporting the Samsung S Pen, and given that these are mid-range tablets, you should be expecting LCD displays along with the mid-range chipsets that they'll be running. The mid-range chipset here is going to be the Exynos 1380, and that will be combined with your choice of either 6 or 8 gigs of RAM for the base 128 gigs of internal storage, unlike the 64 gigs of base internal storage that we currently have with these Tab S7 FE. Now, other things or other features that should be highlighted about this tablet would include the fingerprint scanner, the Wi-Fi 6, support for fast charge battery, Bluetooth 5.3, support for 5G, and so much more. Now, with all of this, as I already highlighted on the previous episode of Tech News, you will likely see, or we will likely see, a price increase on the upcoming Tab S9 FE. At least that's what the reports are pointing to, right? The current Tab S7 FE launched at $530 for the base model, so you should look forward to paying more than that for sure, especially given that the regular Tab S9 series had a price increase. And you may remember that, right? So everything was bumped about $100, meaning if you are looking forward, or if you are trying to choose between the upcoming Tab S9 FE or the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, the regular flagship, make sure to do your math properly at home before you make that decision. Because if you think about it, Samsung just brought back those flash deals. If you take advantage of that, and if you do it properly, it might actually end up being cheaper. And I will have the links in the description. Make sure to use those links so that you can be taken directly to the actual deals, right? So if you do this properly, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 may cost you about the same or less. Again, just do your math. If you have any questions, make sure you put those in the comment section. I'll make sure that I try to get to them as soon as I can. But anyways, the next thing we're going to cover here is going to be the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE, right? More information leaked on this particular phone series, and we even already have renders that give us a pretty good idea, right? A nice idea of what these things are going to look like. Now, as you would imagine, Samsung is still trying to keep that uniformity going, right? They're trying to make everything look about the same. You will immediately recognize that triple camera module on the back of the phone there. So it's essentially set to look just like the S23 or the S23 Plus. And by the way, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I truly appreciate that. But anyway, so this new phone here is supposed to be boasting a 6.3 inches. Now, I have seen reports saying 6.4, but it looks like the majority, or at least the most reliable sources, are pointing to a 6.3 flat display, and that size is going to be in between both the S23 and the S23 Plus. So it's not going to be the exact size as the S23, and it's not going to be the same size as the S23 Plus. It's going to be right about in the middle there. It's also going to be boasting a glass back and, an aluminum frame. And the display itself is going to be Full HD Plus, a dynamic AMOLED display, by the way. So it's going to be a dynamic Full HD Plus display that does support 120 Hertz refresh rate. The base storage here is going to be 128 gigs comboed with 8 gigs of RAM. And the variants, or the colors, are going to include the pearl white, black graphite, purple lavender, and olive. It's going to be loaded with a fairly large battery at 4,370 milliamp. Now, other reports are pointing to 4,400 milliamp. So far it's going to be about that range, and it's also going to be fast charge capable at up to 25 watt a little bit like the regular Samsung Galaxy S23 currently does. In terms of camera, we will have a 10 megapixel selfie camera, and on the back you will get a 50, a 12, and an 8 megapixel camera. And the camera, by the way, can do 3x optical zoom. It will also include a fingerprint scanner, and I think I mentioned that already, right? It will include a fingerprint scanner. The platform, by the way, here is also going to be an Exynos, which is expected, right? This is not set to be a flagship, phone here. So it's going to be an Exynos 2200, and the price here is set to start at $599 for the base storage of 128 gigs. And of course, we should be expecting this to drop alongside the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9FE, which is set, as I mentioned earlier, to drop either at the end of this month or in October sometime, which is when I suspect Samsung is going to drop those devices. Now, the next news here is going to be another tablet. This time around, it's going to be the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 series. Now, I did cover this in previous episodes. At the time, we were just thinking that it was going to be one tablet only or a single tablet. Now we know that it's set to be a series, right? Just like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9. So you will have two models, the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus and the regular Samsung Galaxy Tab A9, which is set to be the replacement to the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7 Lite, and the other one is going to be, or the Plus model is going to be the one that succeeds to the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. And I think this is a proper way to set up devices so that there is no confusion, right? I'm really happy that Samsung is finally able to nail down just the naming convention. Well, I don't know about the naming convention, but anyways, so they are setting that uniformity, so it's very good to see that. But anyway, so the regular model will be pushing a 8.7 inches display. So again, this is going to be the model that's going to be super portable, right? So the smaller one, it will almost feel like a phone, just like the Tab A7 Lite did feel like a phone. It's going to be loaded with 5,000 milliamp in terms of the battery size, 5,000 milliamp. It will support charging at up to 15 watts, which again is not surprising. It's a budget tablet. We kind of anticipated that. You will get a single camera on the back there, stereo speakers, a headphone jack, USB Type-C port, Bluetooth 5.3, and support for 4G LTE. The Galaxy Tab A9 Plus is going to be the larger model, and that one is going to be standing at 10.5 inches. The battery also is going to be larger at 7,040 milliamps, so a larger battery. Actually, I believe that's the same battery size that we have on the Samsung Galaxy Tab A7, the Tab A8 also, and even the Tab S6 Lite, I believe, because they're about the same size. You will have 4 gigs of RAM here, comboed with a Snapdragon 695, which is going to be the chipset. Now, the next piece of news that we have here is going to be on the Samsung Galaxy S24 series. Now, if you did watch my last video, then you probably remember that I did mention that the S24 Ultra is around the corner when I was doing the comparison video between the S23 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But anyway, so the next iteration of the S series is set to boast an even flatter sides and display, so even boxier than the current models, and it's going to be boasting a whopping 2,500 nits. I mean, in my last video, iPhone 15 Pro Max versus the S23 Ultra, I told you that it was over for Apple, because Apple's just not doing anything that Samsung is not doing more of, right? 2,500 nits. You know what? Let me just continue with the news here. Anyway, so this one is set to see a titanium build, right? So titanium seems to be the name of the game right now. Samsung is now pulling away from the already very solid armor aluminum to a titanium alloyed mid-frame, and it will still keep the same weight, by the way. In terms of the config, it's being reported that both the regular S24 and the S24 Plus will share the same configs at 8 gigs of RAM for the base storage of those models, but you do have the option to go at up to 12 gigs of RAM if you go ahead and upgrade the storage. Now, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, on the other hand, will push up a whopping 16 gigs of RAM for some configs, and this series will introduce the 2 terabytes internal storage. I mean, that's some pro stuff right there. Now, another thing about the next iteration of the S model here with Samsung is that some regions will be seeing an Exynos chipset. So the Exynos 2400 will be dropped in some markets, and of course the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset will be in other markets. The other thing worth highlighting here is that the S24 Plus will actually see a bump in battery size. The S23 Plus is already amazing in terms of just battery life. It's even better than the Ultra, at least in my testing. With the S24 Plus, we are looking at a bump up to 4,900 milliamp, I believe it is, 4,900 milliamp as opposed to the 4,700 milliamp that you get right now with the S23 Plus. That is major. I mean, it was already so good, but now they're making it even better. Also, in terms of charging speed, Samsung has decided not to continue, to pursue the 65-watt charging that they were planning on implementing on some of their devices. Maybe you will see that with the S25 series. So in terms of fast charge, it's going to be capped at 45 watt for the Plus and the Ultra. And then of course the regular S24 is going to be capped at 25, which is what it does right now with the S23, I believe. Let's finish up, and I want to go ahead and share some news about the upcoming Galaxy Buds FE. I mean, it seems like the theme of this video has been FE, which by the way stands for Fan Edition. I know some of you may not know that, but anyway, so it looks like we have a set of earphones that are also going to be budget, the FE model. Again, very good to see Samsung going into this very diverse set of products. I mean, Samsung has always been diverse, having something for everyone, right? So it's good to see that it's also adding the earphones to that. But anyways, these are set to drop along the FE family, right? Which would include the S23 FE along with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE models also. So you should be looking forward to seeing these drop either at the end of this month or sometime in October. Now, in terms of the renders that we saw here, at least what leaked here, by the way, these leaked directly from Samsung. This is exactly what these things are set to look like. You will see they look like, regular earbuds here, and then you have those wingtips to kind of hold them in place, in your ears, which I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they're going to fit in my ears. But anyway, so I think this is a good place to end this edition of Tech News here. I think we've covered everything, but I will have more on the next episode, meaning that I will stay updated so that you are updated. I will catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until the next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.